Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a special edition of Off the Top Media. Today, I am with the Jamie Rose, and we are talking all things NHL from the 2024-2025 season and what the 2025 playoff picture is looking like and where we think things will go down. What is going on, Jamie?
What's up, Shadow? I'm super excited for playoff hockey because playoff hockey is the best hockey. I'm also excited to sit here and talk to you. It's been a hot minute, very much needed.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since we sat down, chatted some hockey, shot the shit on it, and you now I think this is actually your first full season actually getting in behind your Dallas Stars, and I mean they're not been on a great stretch to end the season, but we'll get there.
We'll get there for sure.
Without further ado, though, we have a comedic relief today. He's joining us. He knows nothing when it comes to hockey, but he wants to be a part of this, and we love to have him a part of it. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you the Mr. Jaxpo. And Jamie's loading him up. No, I guess he's not here, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. He is. What is going on, Jax?
Figures it out. I'm looking over the brackets, and this is looking interesting. I don't see my Mighty Ducks on here, so that kind of irritated me. And I don't see my Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, no, they're not that good. They missed. Dude, GTA 5 hadn't even come out yet when last time the Buffalo Sabres were in the playoffs.
What comes out first, GTA 6 or the Buffalo Sabres going into the playoffs?
GTA 6.
GTA 6. It should be coming out later this year.
Hey, here's my hockey knowledge. And if I don't say this, my now fiance would kill me. The Buffalo Sabres farm team from Jacksonville made the playoffs. So thank you.
Right on.
For those that don't know, Jaxpo and his lovely fiance attend a lot of ECHL games, which is the farm league system for the AHL. It's a great league.
90% of that is spent texting Shadow. What the fuck does this mean?
Yeah. I'm kind of near an ECHL team myself. Tulsa Oilers.
Yeah.
Oh.
This season, the Leafs actually changed their affiliate over. We're now with the Cincinnati Cyclones. We were with the Orlando Solar Bears for the last however long. I see, Jax, you're wearing a hockey jersey there.
This is my only hockey jersey. Best team in the league. So,
we love Shorzy here. We love them.
Oh, fucking take everybody.
You're talking to a man that has no jerseys.
Talking
it's because of Shorzy. Talking to hockey.
Talking to another man that has probably upwards of 80 to 100 jerseys. So it's crazy.
Talk some baseball jerseys. I got fucking plenty of them.
Oh, you know what I should have wore? I should have worn my Set the Tone sweater, but it's way too hot in here to wear that. So before we really get in, we just done some pleasantries now. Before we get into this, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the tragic start to the 24-25 season in the passing of Johnny Hockey and his brother Matthew. The Gaudreau brothers were unfortunately killed by a drunk driver while attending the weekend of their sister's wedding festivities. It set the tone really dark into the season. It was broken. The news was broken by a piece of shit person. I thought that was okay. Ultimately, though, Johnny and Matthew both losing their lives, and it painted a picture for the season for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Calgary Flames and Blue Jackets honoring him in their own ways all year. The league themselves honoring him. Team USA at the Four Nations honoring him. It was really great to see the community of hockey come together for two great boys who love the game and were both accomplished athletes in their own right. I know neither of you really know who the Gaudreau brothers are. You just know that they passed away. And
once they passed, I looked into it because we were all sitting here together. I think at night, and they're fucking good. Two brothers. It's like with hockey, and you'll understand this, Shadow. It's like watching the Kelsey brothers do it. on the same field together, like the Manning brothers doing it.
Yeah.
Anytime you see two brothers that have fought and grinded and given everything they can to the same sport and cheered each other on at the time, it's tragic. It's tragic for the family.
Yes.
It is, and Meredith, Johnny's wife, was pregnant at the time of Johnny's passing. She just had their son not that long ago, actually. So yeah, it's a tough situation for everybody. So I guess we'll switch up though from the heaviness to some fun. This season, we've seen a lot of personal milestones hit. We've seen one of arguably the biggest records in NHL history fall. Which was,
I object.
Why do you object?
Because the only hockey player I know is Wayne Gretzky.
Fuck Wayne Gretzky. Yeah.
You mean
I have nothing else.
Gretzky's record was broken by the GOAT?
Yes.
He broke his own record?
Nah, Ovi's the GOAT.
Yeah. We've been fortunate enough to see that record broken 3 times already this season.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's been broken. It's who did it first.
Well, Ovi did it, and then Ovi did it again, and then Ovi did it again. Every goal now is his own record. Yeah. So I just like making the joke that he keeps breaking the goal record. But
and from the reports that I've been seeing, I don't think Ovi's done anytime soon.
No, he was asked last night how he feels about this potentially being the last matchup with Sid the Kid over in Pittsburgh. And he said, I'm not retiring.
Yeah.
I don't think Crosby's retiring either.
No.
We at least have one more year left in each of them, I would think. But who is retiring this season? And we'll talk more in depth over here in a little bit. The one that's actually hurting me is I'm a big fan of this man. He's the reason why I've been a hockey fan as long as I have as well, at least passionately. And that's Marc-Andre Fleury of the Minnesota Wild, starting his career in Pittsburgh, then going into Vegas for a few seasons, and then landing in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Fleury is one of those people that is universally loved. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which team he plays for. That is someone you just universally love, and it's gonna be sad the day he's actually done.
Yeah, and Fleury is one of those more like he's one of the more respected faces of hockey. When last time they played the Capitals, and after the game, Ovi made sure that every one of those guys was to, shake his hand at the end of the game.
Right.
Like that's coming
they
from
brought
legend to
sportsmanship
legend.
to the game.
Yes. In hockey, there's a lot more sportsmanship than you really normally see.
Really?
In
they just beat the shit out of each other. That's sportsmanship. Like, that's awesome. More sportsmanship in all games then.
There's a lot of sportsmanship in hockey.
There's a lot of gamesmanship and sportsmanship when it comes to hockey. It doesn't matter. You see it during the playoffs here that we're about to talk about here shortly.
Yeah.
But you go through 7 grueling games potentially with a team, and at the end of it, you're shaking hands and wishing them luck and telling them good job on the season. They put all that shit behind them and they move on.
Big time.
You mentioned that Flower being, getting all the caps to shake his hand there. Obi getting all the caps to shake his hand. The other night, the Minnesota Wild went to overtime, and their other goalie was in for the entire game. And the Minnesota coach decided to put Fleury in for the overtime.
Yeah.
To give him one last little glimpse at home. Obviously, they're in the playoffs, but it gives them one last regular season. And because the game was tied and then Minnesota won, it gave Fleury 575th career win, moving him, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd all time for wins.
So is he their I might be ignorant on this one, but he's their backup goalie at this point.
Yes, Fleury is definitely the backup now, and I think he embraces that role. He's not the starter. and he hasn't really been for a couple seasons now, and he knows that. And I think that's what ultimately led to this decision being, I'm time to retire, because Father Time does catch up to everybody at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, he's only like 36 or 37 now, but in hockey years, that's old.
Yeah.
He's not old in per se of a human being, but he's old in the sense of hockey. He's been going at this since he was a young person, but professionally for the last 18, 19 years.
And I mean, being a goalie, like, you're in those trenches every night.
Yeah, you literally are. You're facing upwards of like 30 to 40 shots a game, plus your playoff runs. You're getting run into. You're getting hit.
And for a better part of 82 games, and you're, as a starting goalie, you're playing about 55 to 60 of those.
Right.
Well, as a professional sushi eater, I eat sushi about 85 to 60 times a year. So we're pretty much the same kind of athlete.
Okay.
I just say, if they only play that many times a year, I eat more than they play in sushi pieces, not rolls, pieces, and about 86 times a year. So, in my eyes, me and the hockey, we're on the same division.
Okay. I don't know how to approach that.
The Hibachi Cup playoffs, man.
Yeah, dude. They need to give me something.
I guess. I guess so. Let's talk about a little bit of the. I want to talk about Four Nations tournament that took place.
Yeah.
Which replaced the All-Star break this year.
And
which is huge.
God.
And I personally think they should continue this Four Nations thing as opposed to the All-Star break.
Yes.
Maybe not yearly, because that will wear out the.
No, but like the every like second year in between.
Yeah, every other year you do an All-Star game, then the next year you do a Four Nations kind of thing.
Because you got the Olympics in between.
Every fourth year, yeah, you have the Olympics. And now that the NHL is going back, it'll be fun again for the best on best.
Yes.
Then do it for 3 years and don't do it a fourth year because of the Olympics.
Well, that's the thing is, I would agree, but like putting on a national jersey, and I guess this would apply to baseball too. You put on your national jersey for your country, it means a lot, right? But if you're doing it every year, I don't think it has the same feeling.
I see. I understand where it's like. It'd be like throwing the Olympics every fucking year.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
You don't want to do that, right? Because it's special in its own. I know a few people, myself included, who have put on that jersey, and it brings a sense of pride. You got a whole country behind you. But I feel like it would lose its nostalgia feel and all that to it if you're doing it every 300 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you. We're on the same page here. It's like sushi and hockey. I got you. Good.
Sushi and hockey. Jesus Christ. He's going to keep bringing this up. It's going to be fun.
I will say, like, if they were to do the Four Nations every year, which I don't think that's viable, but say, like, even if you're still doing it every other year, obviously you're going to have Canada. Obviously, you're going to have the United States without
unless you filter out different countries,
right? But then you got these.
What about the UK? Do they have a hockey team?
Not
Maybe
really.
you cut out there for a second.
Yeah, you cut out there for a second, Bubba. That's the only reason I started.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
USA, and then you went.
Yeah, USA, and you went blank until I said UK.
So you have other countries that have pretty good hockey squads. You have Germany that they're mainly known for soccer, but they have some ballers.
But if you bring Germany in, your biggest player is Draisaitl.
Yeah, Leon Draisaitl. You have gosh, his name's off the top of my head, but he plays for the Sins. He
Stutzla.
just Stutzel. Yeah, he just came back.
That German team in D2 was scary.
But the Germans they have a pretty good hockey squad, and then what about the Russians? You have a lot of Russians.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. Like, is it a true foreign nations that we don't have Russia participating?
No. And that's the thing is like, the NHL has a huge contingent of Finnish players. So I wasn't offended. Well, and like half of them play for the Dallas Stars, but that's a different point. That's a different point.
Yeah,
but, you have a huge consistency of Finns, so that doesn't concern me at all. But the Swedish team, you also have a pretty good number of Swedish players too, but they're not at the same level as the players from the three different countries. You had Miro Heiskanen, but he was injured before the tournament, so that really brought down that team and their ability. Which that injury also brought my hopes and dreams to a fall, but that's a different story.
The next issue that I have is I understand that the Four Nations is not IIHF compliant, right? It's an NHL-based tournament using
regulated.
Right. We're not playing on international ice levels. We're not doing anything like that. It's not international rules. It's NHL rules. So the fact that you had Russia excluded because of IIHF rules
is crazy.
And their current ban is stupid.
Should the Four Nations tournament, which I've only watched this year, should it be played international rules and not NHL rules?
No. I would say that only because, if it's the NHL is the one sanctioning it, and it's all NHL guys, so I would try to keep it under those confines.
If they go into the IIHF stipulation rules and stuff, there's a whole other insurance they need to get. There's a whole other different policy they need to get. The refereeing is different as well because they
takes the fun out of it.
Don't get me wrong, I love the Olympic style.
Wait, there's two different fucking styles?
Yes, there's international play and then there's the NHL North American play.
I'm never going to figure this shit out.
No, but that's where you don't have to worry because the NHL and international rules are much in the same, but the ice levels are a little bit different. One's a little bit bigger, and certain icing has changed a little bit. There's different rules that are just tweaked. It's nothing that will drive you crazy to figure out. It's just tweaked rules.
Yeah.
Like if you get into a fight in the NHL, you get a 5-minute penalty and then you can continue. You get into a fight in international hockey, you could get a 10-minute misconduct. There's certain rules that change a little bit, but nothing. More or less, it's really just the ice surface is different. I think it's by 22 feet or something around. It's weird, but there's a very noticeable difference, and that's why a lot of Europeans have great success when they come over to the National League side of stuff because they're used to playing on bigger ice surfaces. So these little ice surfaces are not as tired. They can run their stuff.
Yeah,
they do really, really well. But again, I go back to the Russia not in the Four Nations. It sucks because you miss out on Ovi at that tournament.
Yes.
Kucherov.
Yeah.
I think Vasilevsky is Russian. I'm not quite can't remember.
I think so. But also the elite, Russia is a goalie factory.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna score on those guys if we're talking about them being in a Four Nations. So it would make everything it would make everything very compelling because it's those Russians, outside of a few and Ovi, your forward play and kind of your offensive attack isn't really there, but your defense is all there.
It is, right? And I mean, just going back to the Olympics of 2014, the last time the NHL actually participated, we saw great matchups between USA and Russia, Canada, Russia, Sweden, Russia, Finland, Russia, right? Like these guys were like, did Russia have the best showing? No, but those games were games.
I mean, it brings it back to, way before my time and probably before y'all's got time, Miracle on Ice, got Al Michaels. So, do you believe in miracles? Why, yes. Like.
Even as a Canadian, that call still gives me goosebumps. Like,
oh, yeah.
That's a movie.
Well, it's a real life depiction of it. But
that shit really happened?
Yeah.
That's my new favorite hockey story. For all these years, it was Mighty Ducks.
I think as a broadcaster or amateur pseudo broadcaster, I think that's one of the greatest sports call of all time. But anyways,
well, that's it is, and in my mind, it's in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the greatest, and that's because there's been a lot of great sports calls. Maybe the greatest call of that era, I think, is the easiest way to put that. Because in the 90s, you had like Touch 'Em All Joe when the Blue Jays won the World Series.
Yes.
Iconic for a lot of Canadians, not me, but most Canadians that love the Jays.
Well, I will say this: in the 2000s, you had Michael Waltrip calling his brother winning the Daytona 500. Like a lot of people don't even put that as that's an iconic. You got it, buddy! Like you got it!
Yeah,
he's crying. The emotion.
That emotion turned though into something tragic.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
it was still. I tried to look at the good.
Yeah, that was.
So we don't like to mention. Raise down.
You can argue there's been so many like calls, right? And that's just it.
Sorry, we got sidetracked.
Yeah, a little bit. For me, we'll go back to the off season here for a second. Steven Stamkos played with the Lightning for the last almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
Not 2 decades, a decade, 15 years. He was with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was the captain of the team. He was what epitomized the hockey culture in and around Tampa forever.
Yeah.
He's no longer there. He signs with Nashville, and they have arguably one of their worst seasons in recent memory.
Yeah,
and they have a team on paper. They have a team on paper right now that should be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they should be.
It's crazy that Stamkos went there to me. I don't get it. But then again, anything is possible.
Nashville is turning into a really good hockey market, though, and that's coming from a Stars fan. And Nashville is becoming an entertainment hub. I mean, everything's there for them to really succeed.
It is, and I hope all the best for Nashville people and their hockey there, despite the name being weird, but it is what it is. Another name that swapped jerseys this year that I did not see coming: Brad Marchand to Florida.
Yeah, that was insane. Like that shook the hockey world too. Like that was, trade deadline, but even still, it's a crazy move. Like Brad Marchand was a guy you thought was going to be in Boston forever.
It really did. And then now he's down in Florida. Like, I mean, as a Leaf fan, that scares me because, okay, we dealt with him for so many years in Florida, Boston.
Yeah.
And now we potentially could see Florida in the second round if we get by the Sens, which, again, this is a topic for later. But, looking at this, okay, we got rid of him in Boston. Fuck, now he's in Florida with Kachuk.
Yeah. And
that makes it so much worse.
And, the thing is, Boston didn't really get anything back for him.
No. Which makes me wonder, did we try to pursue him or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that, they that's kind of like I know it was last year, but Jake Gensel getting traded to Carolina.
Yeah, and now he's in Tampa.
And then now he's in Tampa Bay. And there's also some more trades and stuff that happened but that I'll touch on that later.
Well, I mean, we can talk about the trade deadline now. Which one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, Nico. You want to talk about Nico?
Freaking diva.
Here's the thing, though. I guess that would be a subject we're gonna have to talk about after. But
we can talk about it here now too.
I never thought
back to it.
I never thought we'd see why was Randy moved?
Because I mean,
money.
The story was that he gave a list of teams to Carolina and was like, "Here's the list of people I'd play for, and you're not one of them." That was when he got traded from the Avs.
What's crazy to me is the Leafs were in on that.
Y'all can have him. I don't care for the guy.
But the asking price of Mitch Marner back is not
close to what we paid for him.
Yeah, but giving up Marner now, who is now a 100-point player in a season, who's done phenomenal with the Maple Leafs, it doesn't make sense for us to do that for a guy that I think he's only 1 year left on his contract after this.
No, but we traded for a guy, and we traded away our future stars, guys that would be second line guys in the future. And we traded him and then traded for him. And then now we're paying 9 sheets for the guy and we're locked to him long term. And he hasn't produced in the 3 months he's been here.
Yeah, but he's not really known for a regular season success.
Yeah, but that's still concerning to me that Shadow, your guy was in here.
Yeah, he can't figure out. He's trying to get it to work.
Oh, okay. Anyways, sorry, we were on Migo, but that's concerning to me that he still you say he's not built for the regular season, but as a Stars fan, I want to see something in the regular season that's going to make me feel good about the playoffs. Especially now that we've hit the injury bug all year since, especially a little bit before the trade, even before the Four Nations, we've hit the wall when it comes to injuries. So it's hard to see that we've given up some pretty good collateral, and I don't know. I'd just have to see what he does in the playoffs. Apparently, according to the logic, but I mean, you know better than me.
I do. Another thing that's wild to me, and this is changing from the rant and the subject. Kucherov pulling off his third straight Hart Trophy in an era where McDavid is in his prime.
Yeah.
Or not third straight, but third in the middle of McDavid's prime.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's mind-boggling to me. McDavid is this player that is arguably the face of the NHL right now.
He is, but it's McJesus had one of those years though. You didn't hear a lot about him this regular season. No. You heard, obviously you hear about McDavid, but you didn't hear about especially as the casual fan, anything really out of this world about McDavid as to years have passed.
You ever met McNasty?
This guy.
McNasty.
The biggest thing McDavid did this season was scoring the game winner against the United States in overtime at the Four Nations. Which all y'all Americans, we're gonna beat you in a pre-tournament game, or not pre-tournament, but a round robin game. Yep, you guys can beat us. It's not when it matters.
Yeah.
What matters was that final.
Yeah.
That was his biggest thing this year. And I mean, I love it. Sure.
I didn't see anyone bust out any flips or spins on the ice, so I wasn't that impressed with either team.
Nah, but we had the Kachuk brothers out there raising hell.
I was hoping for a fucking flying V Ain't seen that at a hockey game yet.
Jesus.
That's some bullshit.
No, but you got the Kachuk brothers out there pulling out the like V triggers and crap on dudes.
Oh, you want to talk about that? I think it was a couple weeks ago. Simone Benoit for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Superman punches someone at center ice.
Yeah, just
that was great. You know, I'm gonna flip the conversation over to the Leafs for a second.
Benoit.
But the Leafs this season quietly finishing first in the Atlantic for the first time in 25 years.
Yeah.
And I'd say quietly because it was crazy. Jamie, I need you to take over the conversation for a minute. I need to take a phone call that's important.
Yes, Jamie. Let's talk hockey, Jamie.
It's all right, and you know, and we'll save the Leafs talk until Shadow's back. But
yeah, no, I have an idea for hockey.
Okay,
I have an idea. I know how we can make hockey cool.
How we're gonna make hockey great again?
We're gonna make hockey great again. We're gonna hold it's called the Hockey Rave Tournament. Okay?
Hockey Rave Tournament. Okay.
Yeah. We'll get all the NHL in it. I don't care. Bring them all. You come. Fuck, let Jimmy Bob and fucking Middleburg High come. I don't give a shit. And we'll blacklight the whole arena.
The whole arena.
But the whole arena. Now think Bray Wyatt blackout match. Okay, think
the pitch black Mountain Dew.
The pitch black match. Their jerseys are black light reactive. The pucks are LED'd. And the sticks, the whatever they're called,
glow in the dark.
We fucking black light LED glow in the and the whole like you can just make it look like a whole rave. That's what the fucking hockey needs right now, dude. That's what it needs. That would get any fucking 13-year-old kid to watch.
Tell me you're fried without telling me you're fried,
dude. I'm telling you. Tell me right now.
No,
you would not watch that fucking tournament and be merized. We'd be like, oh.
No. And that's the thing. I wouldn't even do it in a tournament style. I would do that just as like not even like anything to do with the NHL, not to do anything with hockey. Like I would do that. Dude, you should trademark that right now, actually, because that is
someone already has. As soon as I said it, there's like some bot that's like fucking called Bezos and it's gonna come out next month.
No, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, definitely do something like that and just kind of market it and present it the way that like the Savannah Bananas do their stuff. Just like some like throwaway hockey thing.
I'll be honest, because
like
Savannah Bananas have brought so much attention to the MLB again.
Yeah. And do that because hockey, the popularity of hockey in like the last, I would say like, especially in the last 2 years that I've been really watching.
It's actually gone up.
Yeah. And
hockey and golf. Golf's like really up there now too.
Golf got really popular again during COVID because it was the only thing going on.
The only thing no one's going to that shit.
You can watch.
But
you know,
like the MLB has the Banana League. The NFL has the UFL. Hockey needs a fucking random league.
You know, hockey has a bunch of random leagues that are feeders for, obviously the other leagues. But,
these jackasses go out there and trick shot.
Yeah, exactly. Something like banana ball. Heck, you got the Harlem Globetrotters.
Thank you, people. We're making millions here.
Dude, like...
Get me an investor. I'll fucking make you a billionaire.
Exactly, dude.
I'm John Cena.
Write a letter to Tony Khan.
I'm John Cena. I don't rob billionaires. I make them.
But the thing is, you got to make sure, hey, Tony, I just want the money. You don't have to put any input into this.
Yeah, just give me my knife.
Yeah.
Do what your dad makes you do with football. Just because you own a proportion of the team doesn't mean you get to say anything.
Right. You get the
go back to that's why he has AEW for all you sports fans. It's because Tony Khan owns a proportion of the Jaguars and his dad's like, piss off. No one wants.
Anyway, sorry.
Piss off.
No, but I think that's a. I'm sorry, I'm caught up on that. That's a grand idea. Like
I just
have
think
like
it'd be something cool.
their own like banana ball concept.
Yeah, because I go to all these games here in town when the season's going on, and they
Sorry
always
about
got
that,
like
boys.
Harry Potter night and all these nights and all these things. The NHL just needs a rave night, just one night a year. All I give a shit. It's a rave.
No, but that's the thing. Like you have like the rave league, and that would totally like
We could put acid in their Gatorade.
this guy.
This conversation went off the rails while I was gone.
No, actually, it was actually.
No, I just made someone $1 billion fucking dollars.
We'll clip it later and let you listen to it because it's actually like.
I had to. The call came from my wife. She was almost in a car accident, so she was just
dang.
calling me to let me know she was good.
She didn't hit a moose, did she?
No, she almost T-boned someone because they blew a stop sign.
He's Canadian. They had a lot of mooses.
Not where we live. More north you go, yeah, but not where we live, sir.
Mooses are sneaky animals.
The Mises, yes.
You never see them until they're there.
Oh,
So Jack,
so,
because you're a stoner, I have a question for you.
goose,
Yeah, go ahead. What at it?
geese.
You call a mouse,
Yes.
and you call a group of them mice.
Nice, yeah.
You call a moose, but you call a group of moose. Why aren't they called meese?
Like a goose.
Is that what we call them?
Just like goose. You don't call them. You don't call.
We
You don't
just
call
add
them
an
gooses,
S?
you call them geese.
Oh, we're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's a moose. I don't
Right.
care
If there's a group of them, shouldn't you call them meese?
No, if there's a group of them, you're fucked.
But you see what I'm saying? The English language is just dumb.
We never claimed to be the smartest. Never once have we claimed to be the smartest.
We claim
Don't
to be
put
a
that
lot of
juice-
stuff.
Yeah, we claim to be a lot of shit. Not the smartest though.
Let's talk about the President's Trophy winners.
Ooh.
The Winnipeg Jets. They
I-
stood tall
Who would have
On the
never? Who
map.
would have thought?
of Connor Hellebuck all season. That man should definitely win the Vezina, and I would say he could potentially be a Hart candidate.
He's the
He
MVP.
might give Kucherov a run for that Hart candidate this year.
No. I would say
Now
so.
you're talking gibberish.
Like the Jets, I didn't expect to finish first in the NHL at all.
I would have never thought.
Winnipeg is number one.
Let's not get this twisted, though. Just because you finished first overall in the NHL in the regular season doesn't mean that translates to playoff success.
Yeah, because it's bracket.
Because we've seen it in the past, the President's Trophy can be a curse for teams.
Yeah. Look at the Rangers.
The Rangers became the first ever NHL team to have 2 seasons where they went on to win the President's Trophy the year before
They get
and then missed the
bounced.
playoffs the next year.
Yeah.
They become the first team in NHL history to do that. Speaking of firsts in NHL history,
I was going to say it's great that we're saying this with Scal's not here. So
oh no, Scal! I'm sure Scal's will have opinions on the Rangers when he comes in.
yeah.
But speaking of first in NHL history, this is the first time since 1967, and I used that as a point there. 1967, the Boston Bruins and Detroit Red Wings, one or the other or both, haven't been in the playoffs. This also marks the first time in NHL history the 4 based original 6 NHL teams in the States missed the playoffs. Because Chicago didn't make it, Rangers didn't make it, Boston didn't make it, and Detroit didn't make it.
Yeah.
Those are 4 of the original 6, and that's the first time in NHL history that the 4 of them have missed the playoffs.
The 4 from America or from the United States.
Right, and you have
It's all America.
You have the U.S. You still have the Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens that waited till Game 82 to clinch their spot into the playoffs.
Say, how about the Habs?
I was really hoping they'd lose. Something to cause chaos with Columbus going into the final days.
Yeah.
I was here for it. We can also talk about the Calgary Flames and how they finished with I think it was 96 points and missed the playoffs.
Which is insane.
Right? It doesn't matter which format you put that in. The Flames are missing the playoffs.
My thing is the Blue Jackets were right there. They would have had a really magical season.
Yeah. And I mean, I really wish they would have made it for Johnny because maybe who knows what kind of inspirational run they would have went on.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that the Jackets just missed the playoffs, right?
Yeah. 2 points.
But then again, like I said, you have the Calgary Flames at 92 or 96 points, whatever it was, and missed the playoffs.
Huh. I did some shit. What would you do if 2 alligators were at your front door?
Probably invited in.
Okay.
But that's the thing. The thing about the West is a freaking juggernaut.
Until playoffs.
Yeah. But that's the thing. But these teams in the West are getting hot at just the right moment. Especially the Abs. Colorado, hot at the right moment. And we'll talk about all that later. But
you want to talk about getting hot at the right moment. Again, I don't know, because I always say this and then I fall back in. But the boys in the blue are making me feel it again.
Well, the boys in blue have been making me feel
that way. It's a different year. It's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. We have goaltending that suddenly found out. They're both backup goalies that suddenly now it's crazy. Stolarz has posted 3 shutouts in the last 4 games. He's gone on 8-0 run in the last few games too. We're heading into the playoffs with hot goalies.
And you guys are actually pretty healthy.
Yeah, we're healthy. We're playing playoff style hockey right now. We're not worrying about running up the score. We're worrying about defense.
Yeah.
Now, again, I said with the Winnipeg Jets and I'll say with the Leafs, regular season success doesn't translate to playoff success.
Never. And it has.
The regular season is one season. The playoffs are another season, and the Stanley Cup final is another season.
And that's what scares me about Colorado in this first round of playoff.
I was listening to sports analysts just shortly ago before we got on and here and stuff, and they were talking about the potential upcoming series between Dallas and Colorado. And this isn't, Dallas just lost their leading goal scorer in game 82.
Yeah.
Why is he playing in that situation? I don't know.
He shouldn't have. We have nothing to win or lose in game 82. We haven't really been scoring goals, and we've been letting a lot of goals go. So at that point, we should be resting the guys up that we know are going to be balling.
Right.
And now Jason Robertson is week to week, which isn't going to matter.
You guys just activated Tyler Seguin, but what's that going to do now? He's missed so much.
He just got back. He isn't going to be 100% ready to go on the floor. And that's the thing, Miro's still out.
Well, here comes another thing too. And again, when Scalise gets here, we'll recover this part of the conversation.
Absolutely.
But now you have to worry about who's being activated from an LTIR.
No.
Gabriel Landeskog hasn't played since 2023 or 22. Whenever they went and they won the cup.
Yeah, and he just
had a conditioning stint in the NHL. He's now back with the NHL because the conditioning stint has been terminated. So, is he back and ready for NHL? I don't know. That's to be seen. Yeah. But if he comes back, dude, that's a huge boost to that already stacked team.
And there's only one little sliver of hope that I got. Sam Nestor put out a video today that Miro Heiskanen and Niles Lundqvist was on the ice skating at practice, which is all good and all, but they're not going to be playoff ready. They're
No.
just not. Miro,
You're right. They're
Miro's
going to be championship ready.
no. I mean, Miro's
Okay.
been out. Miro's been out since before Four Nations.
That's okay. It's been enough time to heal.
And
Stem cell surgery.
with Robertson going out now,
Yeah.
like our attack just isn't there.
Right. I don't know.
And then
Another
now,
team.
and now we got Dadanoff playing on the first line. You know, that's I don't know. Anyways,
Dandinoff is just a beast in himself.
he is.
Um,
But not for a first line on a Stanley Cup contending team.
Yeah.
He's a second line guy. But with our
I was always a third line guy. By the third line, I was fucking rip roaring ready to go.
dude, you're a first line guy at Golden Corral.
What line are we talking about?
Hold on. Cam's ready to put on his little booty shorts and head out to the volleyball season. I want a pics of that of Cam and his little booty shorts and long beard playing volleyball with the women.
What?
I'd play volleyball with Cam.
I don't even want to like that image.
Okay. Quickly. Oh, you want to watch it? Oh, okay. Big topic here to talk about because again, one of the faces of the NHL. But the Penguins missing the playoffs for the third consecutive year, right? There has to be some urgency now in Sid to make the playoffs before he goes and rides into the sunset.
Yeah,
I guess you can say that.
That man has already accomplished more than most. Like there's no big they missed, so his career is irrelevant now. It'd be nice to see Crosby in one last playoff run, but if it ends today for Sidney Crosby, would you be satisfied with the way the Penguins finished this year?
no.
They're not young by any means. Chris Letang, Penguins defenseman, just had surgery the other day to repair a hole in his heart. But guess what? Chris Letang. L-E-T-A.
Oh, they said Chris Letang. Oh, that's a weird fucking name. That's awesome.
Chris Letang had surgery to fix a hole in his heart. But guess what? He's not like those pussy NFL players or those pussy fucking NBA players. He'll be ready to go for training camp.
Hold on. What? What do you got to throw shade at the NFL for?
I don't know. Because I don't know anybody that can skate and hit as hard as guys on NHL skates, and yet the NFL wants to say that they can do better.
Facts.
Braun Breaker.
He's not in the NFL.
He could skate.
You know what? I'll give you this. If he could skate, I'd love to see him spear somebody. Give him Connor McDavid's speed and just demolish Carlito at the end of the ice ring.
No, have him go out and just hurt Mark Stone.
Y'all think Gretzky's going to come back this year and take back his record?
This guy.
That wasn't a serious question.
Well, just for the record, though, Wayne Gretzky is currently 2 goals behind the NHL all-time goal scorer. Or 3, sorry.
No fucking way. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just logged into Fortnite.
Oh, you just now seeing them ski-ins?
I'm not seeing them. My loving fiance bought them for me.
Looky
That's
here.
Cool.
You're
How much are they? Because I know my kids want them.
Sir,
I'll probably hop on here or hop on old Fortnite after we get off.
30. Oh, it doesn't tell me because I already own them. 15 a piece, or
the bundle's
60,
28.
63 for everything is what
That's
complete.
crazy.
But yeah, you get a discount on the bundle.
Yeah.
Oh, about the bees.
Anyways,
Well,
how about your Maple Leafs, Bob?
Well, you know what? I wanted to get into that. You know, Mitch Marner hit his first ever 100-point season. He's been close before, but he finally did it. Austin Matthews hit a career best 400 goals now, which is now 20 goals behind the franchise leading Matt Sundin, the legend himself. So I assume by next season we'll have a new franchise leader in goals.
So your boy Marner, 27 goals, 75 assists. He's definitely living up to that. You know, like I'm wanting to get paid, and I'm getting paid.
You know what? I want him to get paid, but I don't think it's going to be at the Leafs.
And that's kind of the issue, is because they had the opportunity to pay him, and they tagged him instead.
They still very well could pay him, and we don't know where the offseason goes. Martin's goal right now, but like I'm saying again,
his goals winning the Cup.
But see, that's the thing, is I think that's what Brad Shulman is worried about, right? He doesn't care about your regular season stats. It's time to answer the bell for playoff time.
No, but
if the Leafs make the Eastern Conference Final this year, I'm not going to say Stanley Cup Final. If they make the Eastern Final this year, Marner gets paid and stays a Leaf. Yeah. If they fail anything other than an Eastern Conference Final berth, Marner's gone.
Yeah, but if he does stay with the Leafs, they're gonna he'll take the hometown discount. But
I don't think he does.
I mean, if they make the East,
if they make the East and they realize they're that close, maybe. But you also got to remember John Tavares' contract comes off the books this year. He signed a different contract in the offseason.
And you think JT's take a more team friendly deal?
I think he does, and he fills that that mentor role on the team.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope he does, because I mean, yes, he's had a career resurgence year, which I think that has to do with the C.
Yep.
The C is a very well cursed fucking thing with the Leafs. I don't think anybody should wear the cap and C at all.
And he let that go to to
yeah, and look what Bobby did. He only put up 32, 33 this year.
Yeah.
Barely anything. That's not Matthews.
Right.
We've seen it in the past. Dion Phaneuf, a fucking stellar defenseman, came to Toronto from Calgary, and I don't know.
So it's like if you don't, and that's the thing, you called it. You called it. You're like, next year Austin's getting the C.
Yeah, I said that last year before the season was done.
On this very program.
He's going to get the C. Like, it's going to happen.
On this very program.
It's not. I can see it happening, and that's exactly what happened.
But, I mean, that's the thing. If it's such a curse in Toronto, you would think you'd give that to someone else. But but that's the thing. It's also about tenure, too, and
I don't know if it has to do with tenure, because we've seen Crosby, for instance.
Well, I mean, JT got it, and he wasn't there.
But he was the captain in the NHL before that.
No, yeah, exactly. But he was, with the Rangers, or no, it was the Islanders.
The Islanders, yeah. Don't get those confused. Scouts might stab you. It's just the Leafs have had a great season when it comes to the style that they play now. Craig Brûlé has really shaped them into not giving a shit about their personal milestones at this point. And I think that's the shakeup they needed last year in the playoffs. We watched
Sheldon
the Leafs.
Wasn't able to let that happen.
Sheldon is a player's coach. He's not a management coach. Brûlé is not a management or player's coach. He's a coach's coach.
Yeah.
He knows the pressure of what it's like to play in Toronto. He played with the Leafs.
Yes. But he also knows how it is to win a Stanley Cup in the modern era with modern era, players and mindset.
Right.
He won one in 2019 with the Blues.
With the underdog Blues, the ones that gave nobody a chance, and that's what they did. To me though, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watched all 82 games of the Maple Leaf season. I'm busy with my own right. But the games I caught, I could tell you though that there's a different very different setting to how the Leafs play this year.
And yes, absolutely.
You have Austin Matthews blocking shots. You have Mitch Marner blocking shots. You have guys that don't normally play these roles playing these roles.
You have guys get out of their comfort zone. And that's meant a world of difference to the Leafs. You have guys that don't play defense playing at defense.
Yep. I mean, a couple times this season, Mitch Marner was back on the blue line.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've watched more hockey than you this season.
You have, but I've watched a lot of amateur hockey.
Yeah, more in NHL hockey.
Speaking of amateur hockey, the London Knights right now, the OHL, on an absolute heater in the playoffs, dispatching of the Owen Sound attacking round 1, 4 straight games. And then they go into Erie, and Erie's not a slouch team, and they dog walked them in 4. So they're heading back to their 3rd consecutive Western Conference final appearance on an 8-0 record right now with Cowboy and them doing damage. Cowboy, a.k.a. Easton Cowan, Leafs prospect, looking to break into the league next season.
Oh, yeah.
This is his final run in the OHL. He wants to go out on top.
And I think he will.
I listen, OHL championship's cool and all, but you know what we need? We need them to fix what happened in the Memorial Cup last year when they lost.
Knights and 4.
But what I do want to do at this moment, and this is a little bit of a personal note for me, and these two boys and Scouts have been following along all year with me. My oldest son and his team went on a hell of a run this year. They won a big tournament back in the middle of March that gave them that championship, and then they ended up winning the league a week and a half later. These boys, the most dedicated boys to hockey I know. They fought together like brothers. They dug deep every game. Every game went into a chance of winning. That's these boys right there. They worked so hard all year, and they came together and won 2 big championships this year, and I'm so proud of this group.
Fuck, I was proud of them.
I mean, yeah, getting the updates on how they're doing and just see them progressing, not just as hockey players, but also as, upstanding young men, that means more than anything.
It was definitely fun, especially that Young Canada Tournament week. That tournament has hosted players back in their youth, such as like Wayne Gretzky and other players have been in that tournament themselves. Knowing that my son's now name is in the same record book as Wayne Gretzky is wild to me.
Yeah.
This group though dug in really deep all year. They worked hard, like I said. They had great coaching. The parents were great. Everybody was encouraging. There was never a time where there was drama on the team. And if there was drama, we didn't hear about it because the boys settled it themselves.
The way it should be.
For a lot of these guys, they all move up next year into a different division for age. And some of them are just done hockey now because they don't want to play at that division and that level. And it's going to be sad to see them the end. But it'll be interesting. A lot of these kids have developed their skills over this year. Nobody complained. You'll notice the one kid on the end who's sticking out more on the left hand of my screen, but it might be the right hand of your screen.
Yep.
He has a call up from a U13 division. This is U15. He played, I think it was 13 games in 14 or 16 days between his team and our team. Him along with his team won the Young Canada Tournament at his division. Then he came up and won it with our division. And then he ended up winning this championship with us as well. That kid punched way above his weight class all year. He was taking on guys 10 times bigger than him, digging deep every game. And he is a solid defenseman. And I can't wait to see what he does next year.
That's great right there.
It's exciting, dude. Like, there's some good looking boys, man, with that trophy.
Oh, yeah.
You can't eat cereal out of that one, though. That's kind of disappointing.
It is disappointing, but beginning of the year, the mission statement was we're winning the championship this year. And I mean, I've heard that much over the years with different coaches, but this coach, I believed when he said it.
Yeah.
And we walked in and just did our work. We only lost 8 games all year. And they won like 30-some games.
I was going to say, there was a lot of hockey played. A lot.
A lot of it. Like, even my fiance was keeping up with it. Like,
there was times where I was like, oh, fuck, I want hockey to end because I'm just tired. But at the same time,
Nah.
I was like, oh man, this is a feeling that you don't forget, you know?
Exactly. The moments like this right here, that's where the reward comes.
Not great. I said to my wife over the course of the year too, I was like, how many times over the last few years, can you remember naming every one of the kids on the roster? She goes, I can't. But this year, we can tell you every kid's name on that roster. But yeah, I just want to give them a little shout out. You know, they worked hard and they played hard, and I wanted to give them a little spotlight, if you will. The spotlight of shadows, if you will.
I like what you did there. I like it.
We should have Scals joining shortly. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we really get into the playoff conversation?
I'm excited to talk about the playoffs.
Not really. I want to keep a good chunk of my grievances for later in the show. Not grievances. No, I'm a worried fan at the moment.
Your worriedness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's understandable.
Thanks to Shadow and Scals, especially Shadow, I've become too invested in this thing called freaking hockey.
I'm about to watch the playoffs like it's fucking going out of style. Y'all just wait.
That's what hooked me. Shadow was like, "Hey, we're all gonna get in a Discord call, and we're gonna watch, some playoff hockey. You want to watch?" And I'm like,
Sure,
yeah.
why not? Let's see. And it turns into a whole fucking...
Dude, and now I'm freaking hooked. Hook, line, and sinker, brother. I am all in on this. Like, my wife hates it that she's like, you don't even know how you, that's like, yeah. So like,
I don't need to know it.
No.
Your wife's like, hockey is the devil.
It's my favorite sport now. Like I've watched more hockey this last year than I have wrestling.
I feel that, speaking of wrestling though,
I ain't even watching it on my second monitor. I'm
not even watching it.
So speaking of wrestling, we appreciate. I know most of the time people tune into this channel, they're expecting some wrestling content. Thank you for joining us on Friday night of Mania weekend to sit and just talk hockey with us. If you're here, if not, that's fine. But,
hockey.
The playoffs start tomorrow too. The Stanley Cup playoffs, the chase for the great big trophy begins tomorrow.
The chase for Lord Stanley's Cup.
I'm a little torn though because I will be watching WrestleMania, but I also have the Leaf game on Sunday. So night two and day, I got two TVs ready to go to watch both because I'm not missing either because it's supposed to be a bigger night, right? So,
like I'm gonna have the Stars on my phone, and then I'm gonna be at a watch party. Well, he's got another TV. I'll just put the Stars on his other TV. But yeah.
Yeah, the Stars open up tomorrow night, don't they?
Yeah, in Dallas, which also, I mean, there's where the little bit of hope is. But yeah, they play on TNT tomorrow night in Dallas.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I know that so many people are gearing up for the playoffs right now, fan wise.
Yeah.
I'm sure Scal's going to be joining very shortly, but let's talk about we'll open up the conversation of playoffs. And the first series we'll talk about, because this one will be a dud series in my opinion. It's not romanticized. It's probably going to be the most boring series to watch on paper and on television. The New Jersey Devils and Carolina Hurricanes.
And that's the thing. Okay, so Carolina, I do have some investment in Carolina. Just, also like my old work, they had sponsorships and stuff through the Carolina Hurricanes, but also like my boy Logan Stankoven is now a Hurricane, and I'm gonna watch those games and root on Logan, but. Yeah, other than that, there's really no exciting thing about this.
Well, you've got to think there's no Hughes or anything, right? Like,
and then everyone in Canada, or at least in Ontario, that matter. The greater Ontario is probably going to be rooting also for the Carolina Hurricanes, because forget old Sheldon, bro.
I honestly, I'm okay. I want Sheldon to have some success. I really do, but he got matched up with a team that let's call it what it is, a juggernaut compared to New Jersey.
And that's the thing. They're also like that Carolina squad is young,
but they can't get over that hump. Carolina plays a very boring style of hockey.
Yeah.
New Jersey does too, to a sense, and it just annoys the living piss out of me. And it's not a series. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, I'm gonna go watch, the Hurricanes and Devils. Like, that's not something that I want to tune into.
Right.
I predict out of the 8 matchups that we have, that'll be the lowest viewed matchup in outside of those 2 fan bases.
Oh, probably, yeah. For sure.
There's just so much. I predict, though, this one goes 6. My prediction is that Carolina and New Jersey go 6 games.
Really?
I feel like the Devils will squeak out a couple wins. It'll probably be overtime wins if they get it. But I predict Carolina's the winner, but I think it's going to go 6 games.
I think it goes 5, and only because the first 2 games are in Carolina.
Okay, 5. That could do, yeah.
That, I mean, I think Sebastian's going to take over.
Now, I'll throw the wrench in because I know how he plays, and he's a former Leaf. But Freddie Anderson is in the pipes, I think, for them in the playoffs. I'm not quite sure. But I know he's on that roster. And it all depends what Freddie you get. Are you getting the solid Great Dane that we know he can be, or are you going to get the sieve?
Yeah.
A guy that can't make a save.
Right.
I've watched Freddie Anderson play for the better part of a decade now, whether it be with the Ducks, the Leafs, or now Carolina.
I know who the Ducks are. I know the Ducks.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Ducks though. Like Freddie's not winning you a cup, and I say that by experience because for the longest time in Leaf Nation, he was considered the savior.
Yeah. I think with Ho and Seth, I think those 2 guys can take over.
I think when Gretzky comes out of retirement next year,
This guy,
that he will be the savior of the league. What do you mean, this guy? What are you watching?
You, and you're talking about fucking Gretzky coming out of retirement.
You're also talking about the guy who drafted Tom Brady to his team.
we are talking about that guy.
If Wayne Gretzky comes, listen, Jax. If Wayne Gretzky comes out of retirement next season to try to break the record, I will let you ship me a pair of your underwear and I will chew them on live.
You heard it here, bro. You heard.
I need it to happen.
But also, I will say this: Carolina has lost 4 of its last 5.
Yeah, and they lost to the Leafs the other night.
To the Senators and Montreal.
Yeah, see, like it is. I have thunder and lightning happening above me now, ladies and gentlemen. And the thunder rolls, like Garth Brooks once said.
And the thunder rolls.
But see, this is how you know it's bad, bro. None of us have any opinion on this series. Like, where are we going?
And that's the thing. Scals wouldn't have any opinions on this series either.
No.
Well, maybe he'd have opinions in Carolina because.
We'll touch base with Scals. Scals is currently driving home. You want to bring up the graphic on the screen so people can see the matchups?
Absolutely. So let me take this one out of here.
All right, Jax. Now, I want you. We're not
Awesome.
going to cover anything right now. I just want you to pick a team out of each. Just pick a team of each. We're killing time, but I want to see
On each side?
Yeah.
Tampa?
Okay.
This is going to be a hard one.
Out of each series, I want you to pick one.
Oh, each game?
Yeah, each series.
Oh, how many games do they play?
Up to 7, best of 7.
Best of 7 to move on to the next bracket.
So there's 8. There's 16 teams that start right now. And then it goes down to 8, and then 4, and then 2. Just like, baseball. I know baseball's a little different.
Well, I'm going to go St. Louis.
All right. How many games do you think that goes?
I'm hoping all 7.
Okay.
I'm going to go Colorado.
You stuck a knife in Jamie's heart there.
Colorado. 4 games.
Oh, not just sticking a knife
4.
in Jamie. He's roasting
4.
Jamie on that one.
4 games. Those are some good old stoner fellas. They like to get their shit done and
he's
go
getting the
and smoke.
fruits up for Dallas.
Vegas, only because it's WrestleMania. I don't know how many games.
I mean, that's a good choice. But
Why do half these teams it doesn't snow where they're at? LA. I like their logo.
Okay, so hang on. Before you move to the East, now you have
no.
St. Louis. What?
Okay. Sorry.
I was just refreshing with everybody's mind here.
No, yeah. Let me track
In the
down.
West, you have St. Louis versus Colorado in round 2, and then you have Vegas and LA in round 2. Now move over to the East. Who do you got?
I got Toronto.
Hey.
I would say Florida because they're defending, but Tampa Bay, from what I was reading while we were fucking around, seems like they're a little bit more hungrier this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go Tampa over defending champs.
Okay.
Look at this guy.
I'm going to go the Wish team
Okay, Washington, OB. All right.
because they have good deals.
Wish team.
Well, they have good deals. Plus, we played Montreal's farm team and they tried to fight us. It didn't work. And I'm going to go New Jersey.
Okay, so to recap the East, he has Toronto, Tampa, Washington, and Jersey. Now
Got
go
it.
back to the West. Who do you got between St. Louis and Colorado?
Fuck. St. Louis.
All right. What do you got between Vegas and LA?
Vegas.
So Vegas and St. Louis in the final, in the Western final, and then you have Toronto versus Tampa. What do you got?
I'm going Tampa, baby.
Fuck. You might not be wrong, though. Washington, and you pick the Devils. Who do you got there?
The Devils.
All right. So you got Tampa and the Devils in the East, St. Louis, and the Knights, you said? In the West. Who you got between the Knights and St. Louis?
Knights. I think Vegas is.
All right. So Knights going to their 4th Stanley Cup or 3rd Stanley Cup in 7 years. And you got Tampa and the Devils. Who you got coming out of that? I'm going to assume Tampa.
Yeah, in the 7 years of their franchise.
Tampa.
So you got Tampa versus the Vegas Golden Knights in the final. Who do you got winning the final completely out?
Wayne Gretzky. Tampa.
Tampa winning their 3rd championship in 4 years or 5 years. That's crazy.
I'm just shocked it never snows here and we have 2 hockey teams.
Those are some wild predictions, though, Jamie.
Say, I gotta make a graphic and I gotta post that.
What if I
before tomorrow?
What if I just spit out the perfect bracket? The guy that knows
I would
nothing
agree with
about
you.
hockey tonight.
I'd agree with you, but I don't have LA or St. Louis moving on at all.
Well, I have. We'll talk about it later, but I think LA is going to surprise some people.
That's fair.
So
we talked about Carolina and Jersey. Let's go talk about the boring series in the West, which is probably going to be LA and Edmonton.
Yeah.
Because Edmonton, half of Edmonton's roster right now is in the ICU.
Yeah, they're banged up.
And now LA is kind of on a Cinderella run right now. To me, though, like, I got Edmonton winning this one in 7, strictly off the heart of certain people. They know what it takes to get to the final last year. They know that they got to dig the fuck in the words of McDavid. They got to dig deep and go.
That's the new curse. It's the McDavid curse.
Well, the more McDavid loses Edmonton, the more it looks good for Toronto that McDavid's coming home, right? So
a lot of things would have to happen for him to go to Toronto.
I don't think anything has to happen. I think another loss and a deep playoff run sends McDavid into a spin and he's the one out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't. That's the one thing I don't understand in the NHL than I do in other sports is like how the money and like cap space and stuff like that. Like, do they have like a luxury tax or
my ding ding?
I think they need to adapt the luxury tax. The NHL has the stupidest cap system in all of major sports.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because I think the MLB probably has the meat.
See, if you're about to bring up the cap by using the backloaded contracts, or what do they call it? The deferred contracts. That's what it is. The deferred contracts can happen in the NHL. It's just how many players in the NHL want a deferred contract?
Right.
Because let's say we'll use Mitch Marner here for an example. All right, Marner, we're signing you to an 8-year, $400 million contract, but you get that $400 million at the end of 8 years. Year 2, he gets career-ending injury. He doesn't get paid out for that 8 years. He's sitting at home.
Well, I mean, then there would still be a percentage of that.
There would be, I'm sure, but you understand.
That's guaranteed.
But you understand that's probably where, where the NHL players don't want to do it.
Yeah. It's like, say you have, a $400 million contract and, 320 of it is guaranteed.
It's just one of those situations where it's difficult. Even at the MLB, you're not likely to get hurt like you are in the NHL.
No, but the MLB, like you'll have teams that sign dudes for buku's amount of money, and then 25 years later, they haven't been on your team except for like 3 years of that contract, and you're still paying the guy out.
Yeah, but Ohtani set a very dangerous precedent in sports with that.
Heck, the Mets did it with was it Barry Bonilla or whatever?
What is with the New York team signing people to a long-term deal? They did that with a goalie too in New York, Rick DiPietro. They signed to a 15-year deal, and guess how much he actually played of that?
Yeah,
maybe half a season. He had a career-ending, couldn't continue.
A cuckoo, cuckoo. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Why they got the two Florida teams going up against each other?
That's the way it worked out, my guy.
That's some bullshit.
I mean,
No.
you have the Battle of
should be-
Ontario.
It's
Which
Florida.
happened
We should
one
be on
day.
each side of the bracket so we could face each other and be champion of champions.
Or here's another idea. We just get rid of both teams and be happy about it.
Yeah. Florida has been running roughshod as a whole.
I'm okay with Florida and Tampa playing each other round one
Yeah.
because no matter who
Bringing
comes out of
each
that,
other up.
no matter who comes out of that, it's going to be fucked up.
Yeah. That's two physical squads right there.
Yeah, but here's the thing that a lot of people are not understanding is, let's say, for instance, Toronto wins right there, right?
They'll win in probably 4.
But my thing is,
2.
oh, no, never mind. I'm wrong on this. There's no reseeding. But in a perfect world of a reseeding, Toronto would play Montreal in the second round if Montreal gets past Washington and Toronto got past Ottawa. And then Tampa, if they won, they'd play Carolina or New Jersey. That's a reseeding. Now, they don't reseed. I don't know why. Because I forgot Montreal crosses over to the Metro for this playoffs. Because of the wild card rule. Which in itself is dumb. I miss the 1v8 format. I really, truly do. Maybe not that much has changed. Not even if you change it much in this sense, would much change in the playoff picture. But
And you and Scows never joined my bracket challenge invite.
I haven't got there yet. I only seen it a little while ago.
That's besides the point.
I had a long day today. I slept most of the
No,
day.
it's all right. We're just trying to kill time right here.
Kill time. I know we got the time is irrelevant, Jamie. It doesn't really exist.
Okay, good.
It's like Halloween. It's a made up. We're just here, dude. I'm not that high, but no, I'm pretty fucking high, but I'm not like if I ever come on here and say, oh dude, I just ate a shroom, then you're about to have some trippy conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What have you been up to, Jax, in the last few weeks? Because you haven't been on the network.
Fucking working, dude. That's all I've been
Getting
doing.
engaged.
Yeah, I went on a cruise to the Bahamas, got engaged, worked some more. Just work and sleep lately.
How was the cruise? Lots of fun.
Yeah, dude, it was a little different than I thought, a little bumpy. But other than that, man, there's a lot more to do on a cruise than you would think. Like, they had an adults only thing, which I thought I would see naked people, but there's no naked people.
Well, that's not
I'm pretty sure that every room comes with a mirror in this bathroom. Some people don't look at that before they walk out of their cab.
No.
It's just not.
You have any crazy love boat stories for us or what?
No, I didn't get caught having sex random places. You
had to have some kind of story that you were like, holy fuck, man, this is happening.
Me getting proposed or me proposing. I was like, fuck, I'm really doing this. And I did it.
I'm surprised she picked you over me, though. Kind of sad. I'm just fucking around. Yeah, I don't know where Scales is. I know he doesn't live that far from where he normally drives from, but
he's probably it's New York. Is that my bracket?
No, that's mine.
That's dumb.
Winnipeg and Toronto would never happen because Gary Bettman's an asshole.
Yeah, Gary Bettman's an asshole.
Mind you, I would love that final just because the Cup would be coming home finally for the first time in 30 plus years.
Yeah. I think Winnipeg though is just on a tear.
I don't think Winnipeg does as well as we're all predicting because, like I said, That President's Trophy is a curse, man.
Maybe okay, so maybe it is Colorado.
I don't know. If you look up the stats for President's Trophy winners to win the cup, I think it's only like one or two out of like the history of the President's Trophy.
Because I really don't think Vegas makes it to the finals.
I don't want to see Vegas at all make it past the first round.
They will. I hate Vegas. I do.
In a Cinderella ending,
There wouldn't be a franchise.
A Minnesota Wild win the Stanley Cup this year, and let Fleury go out on top.
Yeah.
Now that's not going to happen because you can't write that league.
Right.
Now, in my perfect world, I'm cheering. I'm in June right now, crying my eyes out because the Leafs finally won a cup for the first time in 60 years. I mean, I'd love to see it happen.
I'd love to see it happen. And
I think the world's ready for a Leaf Stanley Cup win now.
I mean, because you know me, like when I first started watching hockey, I was watching Leafs games with you.
Yep.
So there's always a part of me that's a Leafs guy.
Right.
You should hear about mine and Shadow's. Me and Shadow had an argument one night about hockey.
Well, you might as well tell them now.
I was sitting there. I was at a hockey game. I said, Shadow, we're playing your home people. Your
home people.
He was like, who are you playing? I was like, I don't fucking know their names, but they had the CH on their logo. He was like, I fucking hate them. Fuck them. I was like, whoa, bro. He was like, I know. I'm just telling you, so now you know an experience. Then we fought like that. We had the most fights that game.
This man tried to loop me in with those weird Frenchies over in Quebec.
I was like, yeah, we're playing the. I was like, whoa.
That's the most sacrilegious bullshit he ever tried to pull on me. What was your biggest? I'm not gonna ask Jax this because, yeah. What's your biggest takeaway from this season heading into the playoffs? Like, what was your biggest holy shit moment? Not including Obi.
My biggest surprise moment.
Yeah, like whether it be a team making the playoffs or what, like.
Honestly, it was us getting Miko. That was a big surprise on me because I thought our team was pretty set. And I didn't think we would even be in the consideration or even in the market to make a move like that. I thought our team was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely it sent shockwaves. That was definitely a Woj bomb of the season.
Yeah.
I think even the bigger one though too is even just random moving complete at all.
Well, let me take that back. Marchand, that trade.
Yeah, that for sure. What is this? Who is this? Hello, Snowy. I don't know who you are, but hello.
Hello, Snowy.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just curious how you know. How do you know something that you don't? You know the name of it, but don't know it.
Because I can read.
Is it like the person wearing a tag? Oh, it's in the chat.
That?
Oh, hey, I'm an idiot.
Sorry, I was so
about?
focus lasered in on.
I thought you were talking to a cat or something. I was like, what good fucking human's got a tag on his fucking neck?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's been a whirlwind season. Again, like I was talking to you before the show went on too. Calgary, 96 points, not making the playoffs. That to me is a holy shit. Like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy to me. Jax, you went to a few games this year with Nicole.
Yeah, I think we did a total of 4 this season.
I was gonna say, why is Nicole not sitting in the chair, and you are.
Well, her grandmother had surgery on her wrist.
Oh, sorry.
So
Bless her heart.
yeah.
I
That
feel
she's
like
at
crap
home.
now.
No, I don't feel like crap. She broke her wrist the day we got on the ship, so it was kind of fucking funny.
Just a wrist. Okay.
Maybe because I'm an asshole, but Granny was in the home giving a little too many HJs, you know.
Apparently, she was outside trying to trim bushes and shit.
Trim her bush. Yeah.
I was like,
She was like, I was trying to reach the bush. Of course you were. Of course you were.
She was trying to get the hedges ready while y'all were out in the boat.
Something, man. But fucking, I wouldn't say because I started paying, going this season, I really started paying attention more to the rules and the gameplay. I guess it's just watching the brutality is what I got out of the season. I'm like, these motherfuckers really do fight like people say they do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I always thought it was just a joke and the goon and all. No. But then I also found out some pretty, like some of the rules are a little different to me. But the biggest takeout of my first half season of watching hockey is the energy in the arenas. It's just fucking party. It's not like football where everyone, one half of the fucking arena is like hates you or anything like that. It's just everyone's there half drunk and having fun.
Yeah.
Like no one cares. They're just drinking.
Now, I'm going to go back to Four Nations for a second because I'd be remiss because I didn't bring it up the first time around. But the round robin game between the Canadians and the Americans, where there was 3 fights in 9 seconds. I know you both watched it because I watched it.
Well, shit, we watched it together.
Oh, yeah. So I'm saying, like, how did that make you feel? Because you guys are both relatively newer hockey fans, but how did that make you feel watching your countrymen? Because that's how it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it made me feel patriotic as fuck.
You want the redneck answer? You want the Florida boy answer?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, America! Yeah, hold my beer. Jimmy, hold my beer. Watch this. Like, I was all for it. When it comes down, because the Nationals was the
Toby Keith brother.
Yeah, like
American girls and American
booting your ass. But when it came down to me watching it, all of it, I love the sportsmanship, even though there was a bunch of bald people there playing hockey. People being bald in hockey are kind of like hand in hand, apparently.
Right.
Oh.
What's up, Scouts? No, but I think there could have been a little bit more mature about certain things.
I'm going to assume you're going to go into the fact that we booed your national anthem.
Well, we're not innocent. We're not innocent. I don't think we didn't do it because we did.
That didn't offend me at all.
Which, hold on. Here's what got me is, yeah, y'all booed it. Okay, it's been booed before. Yeah, we got it
back in blood.
We booed y'all's. I mean, in history, it's been done before. But motherfuckers, just like put your big boy pants on for 5 minutes and fucking play hockey. Like, God.
Well, I mean, like I explained, we're not booing your country. We're not booing your anthem.
Scouts is playing Fortnite, ladies and gentlemen.
We were Fortnite.
I thought you were.
We were booing the man that runs your country.
But don't do that at a sporting event.
Yeah, I just don't like sporting events should be off limits for certain things. Sporting events and concerts. Like
I can tell you one thing.
No. Okay.
There's a lot of people here that want to do that, but they won't do that to their own flag because the respect for a flag is different than the respect for that person.
Yeah,
like that's a statement to me, but again, we're not going to get into this conversation because we don't believe in politics conversations on here, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's an offline conversation.
But I mean, at the same turn,
which
I'm
we
going
had.
I'll switch this to wrestling for 1 second. I attended Elimination Chamber, and the American anthem gets sang before every event. It's like the Canadian anthem because they were there. But that stadium was deafening. I couldn't even hear the lady singing the American anthem. That's how bad the arena was booing. No, I didn't participate in booing. Like I felt it wasn't needed, but like it was just disgusting. I didn't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it at the hockey level either, but like I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not nice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're an hour and a half into this. Scal finally decided to get off his toilet and come chat with us.
And he could take the reign.
Here we go. Let's bring up the playoff bracket and let's actually discuss each round matchup and our predictions for it. Unless, Scals, you have a couple points you want to hit from the season notes that you want to talk about first.
Season sucked. Let's move on.
This guy.
That just in from Scowls.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is crying because his team won the President's Trophy last year and missed the playoffs this year. Becoming the first ever team to do that.
The what?
Becoming the first ever team to do that twice.
Okay. First ever team to do it twice.
Relax.
It happened 4 times total in history. So 3 teams have done it. The Rangers have done it twice. However, the last time the Rangers did do it, they did win the cup the next year. So.
Yeah, well, going off that logic, the Leafs are about to win the cup because Boston and Detroit aren't in.
Well, neither the Rangers.
So
neither of Pittsburgh. So
we had already discussed, and I'll let you cover this. We finished discussing Carolina and New Jersey. I say it's going to be a boring series. What's your thoughts on that match?
I hate the way the Devils play. I hate the way they play. They have that 1-3-1 trap where it makes it hard for teams to get into the offensive zone. It is a very boring style of play. It is a low-scoring style of play. I hate it. I like the more open back and forth, and that's what Carolina excels at. So if they can get through that Devils trap, I don't think it's going to be a tough series for Carolina to win, because New Jersey is still missing its top player in Jack Hughes. They do have Jasper Bratt. They do have a couple other players in Timo Meyer, but Jasper Bratt, Jack Hughes is a big part on that team. And ever since he went down with injury, you could see their fall on the standings, and that's gonna be very evident in a 7-game series.
How many do you think it goes?
I think we can expect this series to be over by 6 at the most.
Okay.
I don't think it goes longer than that at all.
Yeah, I think I agree with 6 on that. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, what did I say?
4.
Was it? No, I think I said 5 because the first 2 games were in Carolina and they were going to take those.
Yeah. We had Jax predict his final, and he has Tampa winning the cup.
He has Wayne Gretzky winning the cup.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky's coming out of retirement.
So Jax thinks that we're going to see a Florida team in the Cup Finals for 6th straight year?
Yeah.
Yes.
He did say that.
I guess so.
And there's one reason why.
Because you live in Florida. I got it.
Exactly.
The next series, and we started talking about it, then we shifted to some other conversation. But LA and Edmonton, I don't think this series is going to be too great because you have half of Edmonton in the ICU. LA is just on kind of like a Cinderella run. They're eventually going to run out of steam here. Playoffs are a different beast. I think you have Edmonton winning in 7.
I can actually get behind that. It's all going to depend on how many players actually make it back onto the ice out of the intensive care unit, because it seems like
Jamie said the same thing.
I mean,
there's at least, I think it's like 7 players right now that are
key players, not just players.
And that's the
thing.
thing.
Not just players.
You don't even know like Evander Kane's like actual status.
Oh, that's not one of the ones I'm worried about. It's the other players that
but
matter.
that's what I'm saying. Like even like guys on your other lines, and then your depth is all out of line. And I think the Kings actually take this one in 7. I think it's the upset.
So how many games did you say, Scales?
I think it's going to go 7. I think Edmonton squeaks on through.
And Jamie, you believe Edmonton or Kings? I can't remember what you said there.
Los Angeles.
And then Jack's already picked the Kings because they have a cool logo. So
Yeah, I like the logo.
the next series, we're going to go to the top of the West here. Winnipeg and St. Louis. Jax, give us your thoughts on why you think St. Louis is going to go on.
Winnipeg and St. Louis. Oh, it doesn't snow in St. Louis is one thing. That and Shadow likes Winnipeg.
I don't like Winnipeg.
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so it doesn't snow, so that's why they're moving on. Jamie, your thoughts on this series?
I mean, Winnipeg, they do have the President's Trophy, and that's a curse, but I don't think that's going to be any to do in the first round. I think they take St. Louis in 4. Hellebuck's been like the best goalie in all of hockey this season. I think he's like a real contender for the Hart Trophy, and I think just that defense is going to be too much for St. Louis, and they're going to take it in 4.
Okay. What about you, Scouts? What's your thoughts on this series coming into it?
Series? Sorry.
Winnipeg, St. Louis.
As much as I love the Cinderella story that St. Louis has been fighting to come back in towards the playoffs, they're going up against the President's Trophy winning team. First time in their NHL first time in their history that they've done this. I think Winnipeg's taking it in 5.
5. I'm going to agree. I mean, St. Louis has been on a great run. They're doing great. Bennington has been really well since finding himself again after the 4 Nations.
I was about to say he showed out in the 4 Nations.
Right. I don't like him. Still don't like him. He played well for us. That's fine, dandy. I mean, I could have stood in that net and done that. But St. Louis is just running like similar to LA. They're on a Cinderella run, and they're just going to run out of the gas that they need to go against a team that's arguably locked in on every point on the ice. You have the forwards clicking, the defense is doing what it needs to. Josh Morrissey is a beast. And you have Connor Hellebuck, who a goalie that nobody wanted years ago, has just been playing extremely well over the last couple of years, and he's finding his game, and he's solidifying himself as a bona fide legend in today's NHL. Like you said, Jamie, he's a candidate for the Hart Trophy this year. He has to be locked in for the Vezina, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Winnipeg winning this in 5. Let's switch over to the East again. Washington, Montreal. Scal, start us off on that one.
I hope Washington wins the sweep.
A sweep.
Montreal ruined the story of Columbus making the playoffs by winning their last game. So I am all for them getting their asses handed to them and having Washington win.
Yeah.
Jax, other than the fact that the Montreal Canadiens logo looks like a toilet seat, why do you want the wish team, as you put it, to move on?
Why do I want wish? Because we don't like the French people. That's what Shadow said. We don't like them.
Fair. Did you ever pay attention though that it actually looks like a toilet seat?
No, but now that I've seen it, it will always be the shit seat.
Yep. For me, I just love the story that Ovi's on right now in the Capitals. I mean, I have investments in one of the Capitals' young defensemen in Rasmus Sandin, superstar player that played for the Leafs a few years ago, won a Calder Cup here with the Marlies. I want to see Washington just move on, not necessarily farther than the second round, but fuck Montreal, so Washington. And I'm going to put it, they're probably going to do it in 5. Montreal will
Fuck
get
the
a
French.
win at home because of the emotion. Jamie?
Bands to make you dance. Bands to make you dance. Hey, give me Washington and Ovi in 5 games.
Before I close this part out on the Washington Montreal series, I was reading an article that was released earlier today, and Obi was asked how he gets prepared for games. I shit you not. This man said sex. Sex before and sex after games helps him prepare for games.
Well, that's good.
I'm not necessarily sure it's with his wife or not, but he said sex. So, switching over to the West, Vegas and Minnesota. Jamie, start us off on that one.
Give me Vegas. I think Vegas is getting hot at the exact right moment. They also have forgot his name, but say one of their guys is coming off of the ICU, and that's going to propel them. Sorry, Scouts, help me on that guy's name.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, they really have a player in the ICU?
No, it's
we're just making fun
we
of
call it that. It's the injury reserve.
Oh.
Oh boy, I love Twitter. I just saw that.
I'm pretty certain, Jack,
Yes.
if somebody's in the ICU, we probably wouldn't make fun of them.
Well,
it's not Nicole's grandma and cutting her bush, you know?
good point. Good point, for sure.
But no, I
it's
do
Thompson.
have Vegas taking it, and
I want to say it's
and
Thompson
5.
that the Knights are missing. I might be wrong. I know he played for Canada and he got hurt.
Yeah, this was a guy. He was hurt for a while.
He got hurt by the Four Nations, yeah.
Was that Shea Theodore?
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got Vegas in 5. I want to say Minnesota in 6.
Son of a biscuit, Mark Stone.
I'm saying
He's still
Minnesota.
playing. No, it's not him this year.
I'm saying Minnesota in 6, strictly for the fact that I love my boy Fleury and I want to see him go as far as possible in the playoffs. I don't give a fuck about Vegas at this point anymore. They won recently.
WrestleMania.
They don't need to move on. The cap circumvent enough as it is. So I just want to see Minnesota kind of go on a little bit of a run just for Fleury as well. Like I said, Minnesota in 6.
For
It would
Flower.
be nice.
Love flower power, man. Come on.
WrestleMania.
Jack, other than WrestleMania, why are the Knights moving on?
Because they do have a really cool fucking logo. And that's all I've been seeing all day long.
All right.
Or
Scouts.
Knights this and Knights that.
I think Vegas is going to win, but I think it's going to go 7. I think the team is going to rally behind Fleury, aka Flower Power, and try to use that momentum to keep going in the playoffs. But I think they're going to just come up a little short.
All right. Jamie already said that. All right. I already said it. Okay. So let's go over to Tampa and Florida. And we'll have the Florida man himself start this one off.
Fuck both those teams.
Tampa and Florida. Right, Tampa, baby. Lightning. Ciao. That's our song.
Ciao.
Well, they really don't do that, but I like to think they do.
With a power play like us, you too could be like us.
Make me us.
Ciao.
All right. So he picks Tampa. Where did you? I don't even know. Where does Florida play out of exactly? St. Pete's? No, that's Florida or Tampa.
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah. Florida
Where are you
plays out of
close-
Miami.
Which one are you closer to?
Tampa.
Okay.
They're both pretty far for him, though.
Jamie, what do you got in this one?
Does it matter?
No, but
I
we need
got Tampa Bay in 7.
Tampa in 7. All right, Scouts.
I mean, the Rangers just beat both of these teams, so I think that should be like their beginning of their downfall, and neither of them should move on.
This guy.
They did. The Rangers just beat Tampa 4-0 last night. Kind of embarrassed them. When a team like that beats one of the teams.
4-0 for 40 years for Sam Rosen.
Exactly. I think Tampa's going to go on, and that's just because it's going to be easier for Toronto to beat them.
Personally, I don't want to say I don't care because then I just sound like a dickhead Leaf fan, but I really don't care. Either team has caused us problems in the past. I think Tampa comes out of this in 6, and they're both go 7, and they're both going to be beat the shit either way.
Yeah,
like it's going to be a brutal, hard hitting series.
Yeah, because Florida's dirty.
It's going to be the most physical out of the East, and it's going to be gross. An absolute bloodbath in a sense of its own, with a lot of pride running on the line. So I got Tampa in 7.
It'd be great TV. That series, great TV.
What do you got? Did you already go, Jamie?
Yeah, I think everybody went Tampa back.
I didn't say how many games, but I think it's going to be 6.
Okay, we'll go. We'll go Dallas, Colorado next, and we'll start Scals on this one.
Yeah, start Scals.
Jamie, I am sorry. You just lost Jason Robinson. He's week to week.
Yeah.
And Colorado has Landeskog coming back. There's no way to beat Colorado. Oh no, he's coming back.
Oh, he's coming back.
He's already been put on he's on that roster, but they have to wait until after the season is over, aka tomorrow, because now his salary won't count against the cap.
He's been skating.
And for everybody, he's played in the AHL games and he had 2 points in his last game.
Yeah.
He's back.
Good. That's good odds, right? Good odds.
He is Colorado is going to have that momentum from him, being that his career has been essentially done for the last 3 years, and he's made a miraculous recovery and is coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Jamie. As much as you like the Stars, they're not getting past this first round. Colorado.
How many games? How many games, guys?
5.
Well, he gave them one more than Jack gave them. Jack said that Colorado was sweeping in 4 because they're a bunch of stoners.
Yep. Smoke the weed, win the game.
But I kind of want Jack to touch a little bit more on this other than they're stoners. So why you got Colorado?
Why do you have to ask the hard questions?
It's really not that hard.
Fucking Colorado. I've never really heard anything. I didn't know Dallas had a hockey team until tonight. So,
ladies and gentlemen, just for note, Jax isn't our resident hockey fan at all. He's just new to the sport. He's here for comic relief, as you see.
I'll get good at it.
His fiance is the hockey person.
Oh, she is. She fucking is, and I am not afraid to admit it. You can ask any of these gentlemen sitting here.
All right. For me, Jamie, I love you, but I got Colorado because Colorado's been a team that I've loved since I was like a little guy. Watching the days of like Forsberg, Sakic, Foote, Blake, all those, Paul Correa, all them beauties. So I got Colorado winning, but I'm going to say in 7. I'll give you 7 games more.
That's one more than I would have given it. I have Colorado taking it in 6. Anyways, Colorado, they are peaking at the right time. They're getting their boy back after 3 years. And, we, since before the Four Nations, have hit a brick wall of injuries. We had Miro go down. We had Ilya Labushkin go down. We had, other guys go down. Robo went down last night. And, Miro and Nils Lundqvist, they're on ice skating as we speak, but it's a little too late, actually too early for that, because they're not going to be even near 100%. And with a banged up Miro, still isn't going to save our chances at all. And with Robo now being out, I don't even know if 6 is going to be the right choice here, but I'm still going 6 because I have a little bit of faith in my boys. But I just that and Miko, he needs to step up. In the 3 months that we have him, he hasn't done jack crap. And I know Shadow said earlier he's a playoff player. He's a freaking monster in the playoffs. But that's the thing. If we're paying all these sheets for you, giving you an 8-year contract, paying you in the long term, we gave up future roster considerations for you and one of our top young guys. Like, New Japan, we're talking wrestling here. Like, you got the young lions. Stankoven was a young lion, true to the heart. He would have been part of the future of our franchise. He's that guy. But to give him up for a guy who's been here 3 months and still hasn't produced a lick of anything, and then now we're going into the playoffs, I don't have any faith in that. And I know I kind of sound like Shadow was last year talking about his Leafs. Like, I'm very pessimistic, but like, this is just, I don't know. It's a little disheartening at this point in the season when we were poised to be in the Stanley Cup final this year. And just after 4 nations, that just wasn't the case. From the moment we stepped on the ice after the trade deadline. We lost all the aura.
Scout asked, who poised you to go to the final?
Okay, don't even go there.
Don't even go there. Like, your team was never in the top of the conference.
We were in the top of the conference for the last 3 years, Bob.
No. I'm talking about this year. You were
okay, so it was a race until like the last 6 games with us in Winnipeg.
Oh, here we go. I love it.
I mean, even with us being as banged up as we were, until like the last few weeks, like we were in contention of that top spot.
I think you're confusing yourself with something.
No.
Because let me talk. You said that your team has been on its downfall since the 4 nations.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. If I go back in the standings and I look at the standings as of January 1st, flipping over into the new calendar year, Dallas was 10 points behind Winnipeg. You were in 4th place. You were 10 points behind Winnipeg. If you were on a downfall, you would not have been as close as 2 points with 10 days left.
That's how good the team could have been. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we were still putting up points. We were still, making headway, but we were still not at our full strength as a team. I knew that by the time we got playoffs, we were going to be in trouble. Like, I haven't been a hockey fan long, but I've been one long enough to know, like, you got to, towards the end of your season, you got to be on all P's and Q's.
I hate how the NHL does their thing. Like, their roster pages. It doesn't show who's actually injured and who's not.
It doesn't.
But we have a full sheet full of injuries. But let's move on. All I gotta say is I love Marchman. He's a dog. I love Duchesne, former Av. He's a dog. But that and our defense has been trash the last few weeks. Jake Ottenkirk can only do so much. And that's the thing. If he's going to really put himself into that elite goalie conversation, this would be the series to do it. But if the defense isn't going to give him anything, then anyways, let's go on to Toronto.
So
Yeah, let's talk
Toronto.
about the main event of the first round because everybody knows it's the series that's going to be watched the most across the board. Jax,
Yes, I'm here. I'm ready. I got you.
Toronto and Ottawa. Tell me why.
Toronto and Ottawa. Toronto, because that's like Shadow's team.
What Skulls? How many games you got Toronto winning in?
hold on. You think this is going to be the most?
Hold on, I'm talking to Jax. Your turn, sir. How many games you got that's going in?
You just asked me. You said
For Toronto.
Okay, go ahead now, Scout. Sorry,
You said Scouts though.
Yeah, I know because you were talking. You don't think this could be the most watched series of the first round?
No.
I don't see anything on there that's even juicier than that first round matchup.
Tampa Bay and Florida.
No,
No. The problem with that is that they're both Florida teams. I think that you're going to get Washington and Montreal is going to be a watch
you
series
got more Leaf fans.
because of
No.
Ovi.
This will be the most watched, 100%. Come back to me after the first round and let me know if you can figure out how that to be your works. Let me know.
I'm sure I can figure out the ratings on that.
No, I'm not being a dick when I say that either. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure I can find it out. So
I believe that'll be the first round matchup to watch. So Jack says Toronto in 4. Jamie, what do you got going here?
I got Toronto in 4. I think Toronto is special this year.
All right. Scouts?
hold on 1 second.
Ottawa won the season series 3-0.
I have Toronto in 6.
Toronto in 6. Okay.
And
Say it like this. And
Battle of Ontario.
I'm going to say it like this. Ottawa's no slouch. They're playing with house money right now. They have nothing to lose. They made the playoffs. Toronto has everything to lose. If Toronto doesn't close this out in 6, Ottawa in 7.
Dang.
Toronto has to close it out in 6. Not because it goes past, but because if Ottawa gets to game 7, again, playing with house money, they have nothing to lose in that game. Toronto has the entire roster core to shake up if that doesn't go. Like I said earlier, anything shy of an Eastern Conference final berth is a failure of a season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say Toronto in 6, but if it closes in 7, it's Ottawa.
Brady Kachuk could be the difference maker in this series.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Goon guy, I don't know what the sloth from Goon has to do with it, but he's not going to be, he's going to be a non-factor. Because from what I'm hearing, Reeves is being called up for game 1.
Who would they not play?
I think they're going to sit one of their fourth liners to have Reeves beat the shit out of Kachuk.
So you're going to take him out?
I think so. This is the first time in 20 years that these two teams are playing. And Ottawa typically has good regular season success against us. But Ottawa has never beaten the Leafs in the playoffs at any point. In the modern era of hockey, I should state, because going back to the early 1900s, that doesn't count.
Fellas, I hate to do this, but I need to jump real quick. Yeah, I got to jump to help my nephew.
Yeah, well, thank you for tuning in.
Love you guys. I'm sorry.
Hey,
No, you're good.
no problem.
You're good.
Like,
Jamie, who you got in the final?
Oh, we're already talking the final?
No, I'm just skipping to the final. We can come back in round 2 to do this again. I'm just
Oh,
asking.
okay. So my final, I have.
Or better yet, before you go, who do you have winning? We'll just leave it like that.
Okay. My Stanley Cup champions are the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's high aspirations, and I love you for it. But Scouts?
No,
Oh, sorry, Diego.
I think they're different this year.
Gals, what do you think?
I have the Caps winning it.
Caps? Like I said, and I said it before earlier in the conversation too, I want to see Minnesota do it for Fleury. But ultimately, my heart, come June, I want to be crying happy tears that the Leafs win the cup. We'll come back in round 2. We'll revisit what our, we'll see who takes what and how this goes.
Did anybody write down what everybody picked?
I'm sure we have to go back and watch it.
I have all of Jax's picks.
Yeah, that was easy.
All of mine is what I put in the bracket.
Oh, do you put it in the bracket?
Yeah, I filled out my bracket
Nice.
as the show's going on. So
Yeah.
my picks are what's in there, games and everything.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I think this playoff is going to be good.
did you? You gotta join my thingy.
That's what you said. Did I not join it?
It says you're not in it. Anyways, besides the point.
Oh, let me join. So I clicked on it to join it. Oh, now it's asking for the password. Okay, I'll join it and I'll copy over my picks. Then I'll switch that bracket around to do something different.
So these bad boys, I think, lock in 3 days?
Yeah, they lock in 3 days.
Because I know my champion, but my Western Conference final, I'm iffy on.
All right, you see me now?
Was this a Verizon commercial? Can you hear me now? Yeah, you're in there.
All right, sorry about that. I had to use the washroom. But, yeah, like I said, I'd love to see Flower win the cup.
It'd be nice.
Just to go out on top, right? But I really got not much more to say on it about any of this first round stuff. Scal's going to keep a tab to see what the most watched series in the first round is. Sure, there's a way to figure it out, and he'll do it because he's a nerd like that.
Yeah.
Any more closing notes that you have, Jamie, about this season or the playoffs? Or
I'm sad. That's all I got.
you're sad.
It's a tough season this year for the Rangers, losing out, not making
I was gonna
playoffs.
say,
And
at least
Sam
my
Rosen
guys.
retiring.
At least my guys made the playoffs.
Sam Rosen retiring. No more. The fuck is going on?
I was gonna say that's kind of probably how I felt last year. That's the one probably piece that like I'm saying like we probably needed right now. If he was still on our squad, Captain America, if he was still with us, I think we'd have better chances if we had Pavelski.
Charles, are you good?
No, this is pissing me off.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, so I don't know what's happening.
Trying to make brackets,
Oh,
and it keeps fucking me up because it keeps changing shit. And I created a new bracket, and now it made 2 brackets into.
We started out the show talking about it. Maybe you have a little bit more thoughts on it too. We talked about the Gaudreau brothers to start the show. You have any statements on that you want to make? Or
No.
and then Scals. What was your Stanley Cup champs?
Oh yeah,
And Shadow, did you ever like give yours like your official?
yeah, it's the
lock-in
Leafs.
pick? Okay,
I said the Caps.
Caps. Yeah, okay. Making sure I heard it right.
That's fine.
Yeah, we just touched on a few things of this. What was your biggest shock of the season, other than Ovi?
I mean, I didn't think that was a shock at all.
I didn't either.
I said that from the beginning. He was doing it this season.
I mean, we had this conversation last summer too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more trade deadline for me.
I know over the summer the three of us talked, and did the math, and we knew that Obi could do it this season had he got a good pace going. Well, that's everything for round one of the playoff conversation and the season. You can probably expect us back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely.
Talking round two. We'll see how the first round shakes out.
I might do some live watch alongs. Trying not to. I'm gonna do a challenge. Watch a Stars game and try not to get banned on TikTok.
I've said before, and I'll say it again. The regular season is a season. The playoffs are another. And the Stanley Cup final is a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So buckle in for the next 2 months of hockey, boys, because it's about to get intense, and we're about to experience the hardest trophy to win in sports. I have nothing else left to say. Jamie, I don't know if you do or Scowls, but now's the final thoughts before we close the show.
No, I'm good.
Nothing to say, nothing to plug.
Other
Just
than your
here.
butt. Hey-oh. Well, thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Off the Top Stanley Cup edition. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Scouts. Thank you, Jax, for coming out and having some fun. Scouts, I believe you're going to be live over the weekend covering wrestling.
I am not sure if I'm going to be live.
You'll be live tweeting, though, I'm sure, because that's what you like to do.
I will
doing
be
something.
tweeting about the event. Yes, I might record my reactions to things just so I can drop videos after, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to go live or not.
Fair enough. Jamie, you got anything hot happening this weekend you want people to pay attention for?
No, not really. I'm gonna take it chill on this WrestleMania. Say I know I'm gonna watch night 2 with the wife, and then I'll be at a watch party for night 1. So I'm actually just being low key about it this year.
Yeah, that's for me. I'm just chilling at home watching it on my own, and then watching. I'll have 2 TVs set up because I can't miss any bit of the playoffs. I'll be tuning into that first game of the playoffs while watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then Sunday is really difficult for me because I'm going to watch my guys in the Leafs during night 2, which is going to be probably the most packed night of entertainment. So it's going to be fun. Other than that, I'm done. Scal's done. Jamie's done. We'll see in about 2 weeks' time, seeing how this roster around shakes up, and we'll see what happens. Catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.